Oh, I
What else
definitely
is
can't
new?
tilt my head down. Oh my goodness. Okay.
Can't tilt your
I
head.
cannot. Oh my goodness.
Oh, no.
We're good. But it's gone.
All right, welcome to London Football TV and Dylan Sherville's hair insecurity episode. No, we're just joking, brother. Adam Melrose, the coach, Ron Everett, Joe Harris, and Dylan Sherv's down on the end. We're live back here on a Tuesday, as we usually are. I want to thank everybody for joining us, per usual, as well. And as we just get everything reset here so we can see the stream, you know Inspector Gadget's going to be in the mix here. But fellas, I mean, talk to me about the weather outside today. We went from summer to fall, like right now. Like, who had practice this week? You had practice today. You had practice today.
Yeah.
Joe, you're going to practice tonight at the Beefs, right? Ron,
I'm retired.
you're retired, right? Yeah.
Layers and rain gear.
100%. I love that it. Yeah, like today was a muddy practice. It just changed up at high school today. I'm feeling it now. It's when we had homecoming, even like the Western homecoming was early this year too, and I'm at that game and I'm like, it's too warm for homecoming right now. And then even like Lucas has the Hoco this week too, and I'm like, okay, this is the weather we need for homecoming. So no, it's fan freaking tastic. So let's jump into it. Unless anybody has any other weather related updates here, I think we're.
I don't.
Yeah, we're good.
Looking out the window, it is currently raining.
Yeah.
Overcast.
This is when teams need to know how to run the football. That's for sure.
Yeah, 100%. Well, let's jump into it, right? Right back into the Tier 2 games to get started. Beal pulling up a 30-29 dub, which some of these other, like we saw Strathroy at Montcalm, which, decent team at senior. And then Beal pulling this one out. So hats off. I know we got a little bit of love in the chat for both Dylan and Everett on this W. But any other news on this one, boys? Because the rest of us got it wrong.
Yeah, I may have had some inside info here. I know that Beal got a couple, newer players that may have had a bigger impact on the game as well. Truthfully, I love football is always good when Beal has good athletes, right? So, kind of trusting those athletes to put up some points. Great job.
Yep.
I say Beal leaved in Beal,
Oh,
and they pulled out the
I
win.
like it. We started early tonight.
Yeah. With that being said, Strathroy was down 3 scores in the fourth quarter and almost pulled it off.
That's a game. That's
That
a
is a
football
game.
game.
Yeah.
Yeah. Make sure that's flipped up too.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, cool. All right. So let's jump into the next one then. Saunders, Clark Road. I think, was this higher than 35? Does anybody have
I
the
believe so,
specifics?
yes.
Yeah. No surprises here. The poll had it at 75%. Obviously, we talked enough about Liam Haggerty. I'm sure we'll talk about him again, but that's just, if for a tier 1 last year moving down, I think they're going to continue to be successful. So anybody else on this one?
Nope.
Okay. Moving on. Uh-oh. Big old dub for Montcalm once again. Sorry, I'm thinking about today's game already, right? But Everett, are you feeling the Instagram love from the Montcalm guys? Are you getting the DMs, or is it all just in the comments?
No, it's all just in the comments, and I hear secondhand from my friend who teaches there. But I love it. I mean, Montcalm, they get the win. They win back to back. They were on a 2-game winning streak heading into today, and I think we all agreed that the more teams that are stronger and better programs just shows how strong and powerful football is in London.
Yeah, absolutely. And Westminster getting on the board, though. I mean, 6. I'm not sure if that was 2 field goals or, a tutty and a block PAT. But now this one, all right, I know we were getting some love here for Ron and Dylan as well on this Glendale pick. Now, Ron, okay, because I know you picked them today too. So fill me in. What do you know? Right?
I know they have athletes. I know they're a well-coached team. I looked at who they played the first couple of weeks, and they were never really blown out. So when it's like, okay, when the competition was going to kind of level out, I really expected Glendale to kind of take the step that they have.
Yeah. I mean, hats off. I mean, Elgin was looking good, coming up to this, but obviously really just probably given 2 points, Glendale give up the deuce at some point. But hats off to the Glendale boys. And then this was closer than I thought it was going to be as well, too. I mean, IDCI doing well, but Cass, getting within spitting distance of this win, right? So, Jake Kirk and the boys at IDCI pulling this one off, but yeah, nice little W for the Bombers, right? So let's flip it to the next round here. And I was getting, this game was happening, I think, during the Lucas STA game, and I was getting updates from somebody that was at the MTS game and just saying this thing's a lot closer. And I wish I had the box score, but I know that there was moments in this game where it was pretty close, and MTS were on the rise. But anybody feedback on this one? Again, I didn't get out there personally.
Yeah, I mean, Banting needed to put one in the win column, right? Like, if they want to keep their playoff hopes alive, and especially in this division that's very, very top heavy, they needed a win. MTS, I think it's a great job for them to put points up on the board. That new coaching staff really making a difference, right? So, yeah, really, Banting needed a win. They needed it bad, and they got one.
Yeah.
In this game, I know the offensive strategy there to Banting in this game was back to basics, running it right up the middle, traditional hard-nosed football, really trying to get back to basics, and it proved to be the right move for them.
Yeah, get Will McBurney the ball at any cost. So, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. That kid is absolutely special.
Absolutely. Well, and I wanted to drop a quick note in here too. I got a few messages from some folks at MTS in the DMs, not so happy that we haven't been covering MTS that much with any streams or feedback or anything. And I did respond to a few people saying, like, literally, for the most part, I get these guys together once a week. Thank you again. But most of the time, it's me on my lunch or taking a couple hours off, one-man show, and I can obviously only be at one school at a time. So nothing against the MTS guys. I just haven't had a chance to come out to your school yet. So we'll...
We covered MTS during the Beefeaters showcase game.
fair.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's, there's nothing personal here. There's no vendettas. There's no, I'm only covering CCH. We've covered a lot of teams this year. I think there's only 3 of the Darnell and the Cercelli that we haven't put a piece of content up about yet, where I've showed up. So anyway, not to be on my soapbox here, but MTS, we love you. There's also not a great spot to film from at your school, but if we get out there, we get out there. But yeah, it's we're doing all of this for free, by the way. In fact, a lot of this costs money. So anyway, circling back, let's jump in. But nice work on this one, boys. Our first tie of the week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how this one ended up in a tie. Props to Laurier for keeping it close, capitalizing on some turnovers. I know there were some key turnovers later in the game that allowed them to control the clock. Medway is a monster, so this tie is definitely going to matter when it comes to playoff standings as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, just honestly great job by Laurier in order to be able to, keep it close.
Yeah. My feeling on this one is that I feel like my vibe, I was there, I was filming from the fan side, which again was tough, but we still got some clips, is I felt like Medway was a little lax in warm-ups. I think they probably had one of those weeks where they're like, we're going to beat Laurier. And then, man, did Laurier bring the speed in this game? Like, there was, I'm just looking at it going like, wait, like I've watched a few of your other games. I didn't see this. And I think it took the first half for Medway to turn around and go like, shoot, like we gotta up our game. So some adjustments, but I believe it was 14-0 at half, right? And then you get a nice catch from Van Hooijdonk, and then obviously big man Gower runs one in. But they blocked the PAT on the first one too. So like literally it was going for 2 that tied it up, right? But yeah, this was I was very impressed by by Laurier. Despite Medway playing a little light in this game. But, blown away that we had a tie.
Yeah.
And it doesn't end there, right?
There's a lot of craziness.
Some breaking the fourth wall. You see us referring over. What you see at the bottom hand, we have up on the TV.
Oh, okay, yeah. Sorry,
Just
I'll
off
start
screen,
pointing
so-
down. Yeah. That's all good. Let's move into Oak Ridge Joe's. Now, I know some of you were at this game, so fill me in.
I was at the first half of this game, and it was only 7-0 Oak Ridge at half. Oak Ridge, their offense, I was texting Shervs here. Didn't seem like it was clicking. The quarterback receiver they were a little not in sync. And St. Joe's, I've said all throughout the season, they've got a pesky defense that works hard, and it wasn't just that they weren't meshing. It was that, St. Joe's 2 backs and linebackers getting some pressure on there. So I wasn't at the second half, but clearly pulled away.
Yeah, it was a very great defensive effort in the second half. I believe there was 5 turnovers total by the Oak Ridge defense. So when you turn the ball over that many times in a game, it's very hard to win, let alone put up points. Shout out to the St. Joe's quarterback though. Like he still hung in there. He's a grade 11 kid, first year as a starter in Tier 1 football. It's a hard task, right? Oak Ridge's defense is, obviously kind of tooting the horn of my own kids there. So they're good. There's obviously a lot that needs to be done on both the offensive side of the ball as well as defensive line as well. So
Yeah,
it's gonna get
there's
harder.
a lot of grade 11 kids playing on that St. Joe's team.
Absolutely.
That's another one like MTS. It's not necessarily about this year. It's about getting the reps for next year.
Yeah,
For sure.
yeah, for sure. Well, nice little W for the Oaks on this one. Let's run into. I think was that the last one? No, we should have another game here.
There's definitely one
Another
more. There's
tie.
definitely two. There's definitely two more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tie. Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's just
Spoilers.
Yeah.
exactly. Well, we'll get it sorted. Live TV, it's always my favorite thing.
Hey, Thanksgiving week.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's bring it into tie number 2. Lucas STA. This one again. Now, I did go. We did a little basic stream for here. I want to shout out Chris Constantine as well, who was an uncle of one of the kids on Lucas, who literally just showed up, and I was down a man because Nathan Caranci was supposed to come help me do this broadcast, and he's like, "How can I help?" I'm like, Can you do color?" And he goes, "I don't know what that is," and he just put a headset on and just
He
went
was
for it.
great. I watched.
He was
him.
awesome.
Awesome, yeah.
He was really good.
So I was, and literally, he texted me tonight. So Chris, if you're watching, thank you again. He even messaged me to say, "Hey, are we doing the Oak Sap game in the morning?" Like he's into it. So unfortunately, I have a work thing, but I was gonna try and get out for some of that game, but we'll sort it. But yeah, I mean, hats off. He showed up and we had a nice little broadcast. But there was a couple of things going on in this game, and obviously, it sounds like you guys watched the stream, but. Josh Sigurdsson shows back up, and Lucas's run game appears. And man, did it look good for like those 2 series. And then Sigurdsson breaks his collarbone again.
That's tough.
In the so unfortunately he's down. But Alvin Fan, the other running back, actually ran the snot out of the ball afterwards. I think he just had a little Siggy shot in the arm, like he's like, "Oh, that's how I need to run," and it was pretty good. And hats off to Maddox Brote too, who showed up with Sean Malik down, and I thought Maddox played a hell of a game, right? Great composure. He's a grade 11 Q. He was only 1 year last year at junior playing Q, so nice to see. And I think it's if Sigurdsson stays healthy in this game, Lucas wins it, no problem. And I thought SDA did as well. Like there was some, one of our craziest catches of the week was Tokie, I think is how you pronounce it. Like behind the Lucas DB, pulls it over, like beautiful catch, right? And then Beck Kanagi is the one that made the crazy catch in the other corner. So yeah, some talent at STA for sure. And I think they're also, I talked to Coach Juilliard too, a much younger team as well too. A lot of grade 11 heavy teams this year. But yeah, sorry, I'm doing all the talking here, boys. Any other thoughts on this tie affair that we had at STA?
Yeah, STA is continuing to get better and better each week, right? Especially obviously with a hurt Lucas team, right? They're down a couple key players. For them to still be competitive is great. All those grade 11 players need to get that experience in tight games, so will help in the future. Especially with the grade 11 quarterback, the more games that grade 11 quarterbacks get, the better they're going to be. Speaking for both quarterbacks this game, right? Yeah. You still have to have a plan for next year for Lucas replacing Sean Malik, and then Kingston Spilo obviously having some great reps this year and having some good moments. Just need to, not keep the highs too high and not get the lows too low.
Yeah.
Right? Just try to get a little more consistent.
I really enjoyed when Spilo just tucked it and ran.
Yes.
Like that's a 6'5", lanky kid, but man, he could move. And
He's got to take the trailer off, but yeah, absolutely.
It was. I'm excited to see him over the next couple of years, play for sure, and I know we'll see him in the summer as well. But let's roll into the Parkside South matchup. I had a chance to catch up to Coach Stenning at the CCH game, and I felt bad because I'm like, man, you guys really turned that South team around right after beating up on Lucas. He's like, well, we lost today. Right? It's like, okay. So, again, one of these games, not a lot of content on this one. Did you guys catch any, some feedback on it at all?
I thought that the starting quarterback at South got hurt. I think maybe there was some sort of injuries that really delayed that offense. Great job on the South defense for being able to hold Parkside to 15. They have some special athletes there and a lot of big kids. So for them to be able to hold them to basically 2 scores is a great job.
Yeah.
This is a big Parkside win. That game was at South too,
Yeah.
Yes.
which is a tough place to play for opposing teams. So
yeah.
that's a good road win for a good Parkside team.
Yeah, that makes the playoff rate. That makes the playoff look in that division a heck of a lot tighter. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's wild in this division, like you
Yeah.
know, the stats. And then the big one, the Friday night game. I think most of us made it down there or caught some of the highlights afterwards, but it's some pretty special plays in this game. But let's talk about Sab. All right, like obviously you guys were all there. Fill me in. What'd you see from Sweeney and the boys on Sab that you were impressed by?
Sweeney throws a great ball. He has very little support. that's basically what I got out of it. Is that he's a great quarterback. When you're looking at the traditional sense of the quarterback, sit in the pocket, survey the defense, very high IQ. But when it comes to winning and like putting together a game, Jed Trupis is great at that. Right, that's his MO. Right, he's going to look for the long ball. He's going to look for that. He's really kind of grown his game to being not just the long ball thrower anymore, but his tendency is still to just tuck the ball and run through your face, right? So, and you got to have that when you're at the quarterback position in London high school football. CCH has had that now for 4 years, a 4-year QB starter. So that's really hard to get anywhere in Tier 1. So obviously he deserves his flowers. The offensive line for CCH just overmatched the SAB defensive line. So I'll leave it at that and let everyone else start talking.
Yeah, Everett, your thoughts?
Yeah, so I think that to echo Sherville's points there, Sweeney definitely throws a great ball, nice tight spiral on a rope. But what CCH did is, then they also have a good running game, but CCH's front 4 and their linebackers were getting so much pressure that it forced Sab to want to throw the ball. And CCH's secondary and their 2 backs said, that's okay, that's great. We like our athletes. They just played a lot of man coverage and said, we think that our athletes, we're not going to rely on zone. We'll just rely on our guys man to man. And there was a couple passes that Sweeney completed, but for the most part, there was no home run, no breakaway plays. I mean, the defense put them a 0 on the board, 0. Yeah. So it was an absolute masterclass of defense for the Crusaders, first and foremost. And Keyshawn Manning and the offensive line just had a day. Some really great plays, but this was CCH's game start to finish, and they didn't let up. This was more than 35.
Oh yeah,
I think it was like 44 or something.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and Sab knocking on the door a couple of times from 2023, but I always find it funny at CC. I was filming from the parking garage, and it seems like all the scoring usually happens on the school side. Right? I don't know. It's just something. Does it tilt downhill over there too? It's got the smaller end zone. I don't know. But it was like I was excited because I'm like, oh, they're here. They're gonna, something's gonna happen. And then unfortunately, the Summers pick and a bunch of other stuff happening down at that end. But hats off to CCH for pulling a nice big dub off at home. And I think there's something to be said too about that. The fact that like Manning and Trupish and some of those guys are not playing in the summer at all, and still able to show back up and be superstars. So it's great.
And a lot of the CCH guys, there's a couple that play, but a lot of them don't play. Well, they still work out together over the summer, and so there's maybe this, I don't know, thing you have to play Mustangs. Oh, why aren't you playing? Oh, U18, U16, whatever. Well, they believe that they're prepared the way that they prepare in the off season and team workouts, official or unofficial workouts, throwing that prepares them and keeps them up to speed. So
I think there's an argument for both, on the training styles. I think what's different there is that in the grand scheme of things, high school ball is house league ball, right? And in the summertime, you don't just have 6 guys on the other side that are good. You have 12 players you need to prepare for. And I think that's the speed of the game in the summer. It's the exceptional athletes that are playing in high school right now are those who go and play against the dogs from the rest of the province. But we can do a whole show on that. So I think let's pull into actually the one thing I did not get updated. Coach Melrose had a busy day today. Is the new updated divisions. Not a whole lot of movement with CCH, Sab, and Oak Ridge at the 1, 2, and 3 spots in the Cercelli division. And then in, the Wild West that is the Darnell division right now, Medway, Parkside, Laurier pulling up the 1, 2, and 3 spots. And really, spots 3 and 4 are Laurier and Lucas that are all at 1, 1, and 1, right? So pretty wild things to maybe happen this week in Darnell. And then IDCI, Saunders, and Clark Road holding it down. Obviously, IDCI and Saunders being the only 3-0 teams down in the Williamson. So let's jump into the games, if that's going to go. Here we go. So we did have some games today, being that Friday is a PA day, and I did not pull the new scores. However, I did send it to you guys earlier today. I think if we got today's here. So we didn't get an update from Cass Westminster, unless did anybody get anything from anybody? So hey, if you're in the broadcast right now and you're watching, if you want to throw in the scores for that one, let us know. But Glendale Montcalm, nice little W here for Glendale, pulling off a 21-6 W for Montcalm. And Ron, I mean, again, the Glendale whisperer on this one, right? I think you just
Again, it's who they played at the beginning of the season. I know some of the athletes that are playing at Glendale, they're good football players, and it was just waiting for the schedule to kind of balance out. To me, Glendale, even with the 2 losses, we're going to be that 3-4 team. They were going to be right into that mix, and I think you're starting to see them make that push now.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I know that we did get our picks in early for these ones, so we'll do the recap last week. But I know, Ron, you did pick up that Glendale pick. I think you were the lone wolf
I was the lone wolf on that one.
And we'll find out Cass and Westminster. Let's jump into the Wednesday games. And Sheriff, why don't we start down with you with the Banting CCH matchup at 11 o'clock?
Yeah, if Banting MTS was close, this game is not going to be close. Unfortunately, right, Banting has the Herculean task of trying to knock off CCH. I think that the way to beat CCH is that you have to force them, into difficult situations, right, which is very hard to get a well-coached team to do. And I think the CCH rolls here probably by 3 or 4 scores.
Yep. Okay, Joe?
Yep, CCH. It's going to be a barn year, CCH.
Yep.
Yeah.
Some couple of storylines to this game. Offensive coordinator to the Broncos, Ben Schmidt, 2 years ago was the offensive coordinator to CCH's junior football team. So he's kind of now going to be coaching against some of the players that he coached, which is always, I'm sure we've done it, a fun, special kind of game. But I think Schmidt has a tough task, as Banting does, in their offensive scheme and defensive scheme as well. As CCH is the real deal. Their defense only allowed 8 points a game. Similar to your point, I don't think this game's close. It's Thanksgiving this weekend. The Crusaders are a team that has all the fixings, and they've got another team up on the menu, and I think they're going to carve it up a little bit in this one.
Would you say it's a X's and O's versus Jimmy's and Joe's situation with your buddy there?
Maybe, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm taking Crusaders.
Okay.
I think they win. Yeah.
Ron?
I think CCH has got the Jimmy and Joes as well.
That's what I mean.
I'm taking the Crusaders.
Yeah, I think this is a safe bet. I know the poll's already pretty heavy on this one too, so good luck Banting. But yeah, I'm taking CCH on this one. Oh, let's go back. And then let's jump into Oak Ridge Sab happening at the same time. It's always the challenge too. There's so many good games going on, even if I could get up and film more of them. But Oak Ridge Sab, I'm taking the Oaks on this one. I like it. I think Sab looked good, but Steery got hurt in the CCH game. A couple other guys are banged up. And I know I was talking to Mr. and Mrs. Sweeney up on the parking garage, and I was catching a little heat for always picking against them. But I think from what I saw Friday night and what I know Oak Ridge has in talent, I'm going Oaks on this one. Ron?
This is a really tough one for me because I really like what both teams have been doing. Knowing the injury thing is kind of leaning away from Sab. I came into this thinking Sab was one of the top 3 or 4 teams in the city. I'm going to stick with that. I'm going with the Bulldogs.
Okay.
Oak Ridge, they found a way to win 2 straight. For me personally, as I said, I kind of wasn't sold on what I saw from them offensively. Sab, they're coming off of a tough loss against a very good Crusader team, but don't think that they don't want to be shut out again. This is a redemption game for the Bulldogs. This game is at home. So I think the Bulldogs, they're hungry for redemption. Sab, I think they're going to serve up a full plate of redemption. Give me the Bulldogs.
Okay.
I was really impressed what I saw with Oak Ridge Live when they played CCH. And this is not spite towards Dylan. This is the Battle of Oak Ridge rivalry. I'm going to go Sab.
Okay.
Yeah, no offense taken. Yeah, so I'm good. Sab does a lot of things unique defensively that could cause some problems for the Oaks offense. However, when I look at the Oaks secondary and I look that Liam Sweeney wants to throw the ball, the Oaks defensive unit is very, very good, right? So they're able to hold CCH to below their regular scoring average of 35 plus. So I think that that's a little tip of the cap to them. Obviously, I'm going to go with my guys. I take Oak Ridge here. A lot of work's been, not that, a lot of work hasn't been put in from a lot of players, but the extra long practices, the extracurricular meetings, a lot of those extra things that the kids themselves want and they want to do, I think is going to pay off for them this week.
Okay. Very good. Ron, why don't we start with you? Clark Road, Beal.
I was kind of the first one to jump on Beal, and then I was kind of the first one to jump off them, and it cost me last week. No offense to Beal. I'm a Clark Road Trojan graduate. I'm going with the orange and black. Taking the Trojans.
Everett.
I think Clark Road last week, their offense cooled a little bit after a hot start the first couple of weeks. I expect their offense to get back on track this game. I think it's going to be a physical game because Beal's going to come in with some momentum, some confidence, which is great. But I still think that Clark Road gets the edge in this one.
Okay. Joe?
Yeah, I'm not exciting. Let's go Clark Road too.
Okay.
Henry Scott's going to be the best player on the field in this game. Got to pick that. Clark Road.
Yeah. I was talking to Noah Williams about Clark Road recently, and he just said, bro, pick Clark Road. I said, why? He said, because Clark Road. I was like, all right, man, I'll pick a Clark Road. So because of Noah Williams.
How can you argue with
I know,
Yeah.
right? Like,
The logic is impeccable.
The facts.
As a teacher, that's a level 1 answer. You
Yeah.
stated it, haven't supported it with any supporting arguments.
I like it.
Level
Yeah. All right. So actually, this should read Thursday matchups at the TVRA's senior side of things. So I'll start down here. I think Parkside at Medway. This actually might be a pretty tough game. And I think Medway figured it out in the second half against Laurier, but they're going to need to come correct early if McBurney's rolling into town and heading up to Arva. So despite the bus ride, I think Parkside shows up and is successful in this one. Mr. Ron?
Medway is a really, really good football team. So is Parkside. Parkside, at the start of the year, I said, I think there's a receiver out of South that's going to be Mr. Football. I'm changing my answer. I think there's an athlete playing in St. Thomas that might be Mr. Football this year. I'm going with the strong side in the Big Blue Wrecking Crew of Parkside.
All right.
I think this is, as you said, this is a big matchup here. This is a tale of two teams. Parkside, their offense comes in, they have about 70 points for. Well, Medway's defense, they're allowing just a little over 20 points against in the 3 games. In big games, in a battle of offense versus defense, I've said it every week, I'm taking defense. I think the Medway corrals and they win.
Nice. Joe?
At home, too.
This is probably the most relevant game in terms of playoffs that day or this week. Haven't seen Parkside play. I'm going to take Medway. I have seen them play. I just think they're too big.
Parkside's big too.
Yeah,
Totally big.
Parkside,
I
yeah.
refuse to watch Parkside.
Those Scanlon brothers are big boys, and they're football players as well.
Yeah.
Which I'm always happy to be wrong. I'm glad Parkside's doing so well.
Yeah.
Yeah, Medway was my wagon, right? Take them every week, regardless of what's going on. I'm still taking them. Got to believe in my guys. I think, regardless of how big Parkside's offensive line is, they're going to have trouble blocking Nathan Cantor and Weston Gower. Those are probably going to be the two best. McBurney's very good. They'll be the two, probably, those will be the 3 best players on the field. Medway has 2 of them. I'm taking Medway.
Okay, perfect. Let's keep it down there with you, Shervs, and talk about South STA happening at the same time.
Yeah, I don't know what kind of injuries South are battling right now, but if they don't have their traditional quarterback playing at quarterback, I'm taking STA. but if he is, I'm taking South. So I kind of invested if I'm
Pick
sitting
one.
here.
Coward.
I'll take South in this matchup. I
Okay.
think that they just have the extra experience, especially at the skill positions with, Drake Logan playing receiver there. He's, a game breaker. I think that they have also a lot of talent on the lines that STA just doesn't have right now. So South.
Mr. Harris, hit me with it.
Both teams have struggled this year. It's at ST. I'm gonna go roll Flames and keep on going here.
Okay.
SCA, your Flames did show some grit last week in a tight tie with Lucas, but they're still seeking their first win. South, they have a win, capable of some explosive plays, but they've been inconsistent. And as a Crusader alumni, I can't pick STA. It's just how it works. Give me South.
All right, Ron.
South has been up and down all year. Lose one, win one, lose one. What does that tell you for the trend this week? I always go with, Coach Stenning is a good coach, really a great coach, knows his stuff. Give him a week to figure it out. I'll take the Lions.
Yep, I'm gonna go South in this one as well too. I think even one of the nominations this week was Mason Thorne, who had a heck of a week defensively. So I think they do well, and I'll take the Lions on this one too. And the next matchup happening at the same time as well at Saunders in Strathroy and Saunders. Just a no question one for me. I'm taking Saunders 100%.
Yes.
Yep, 2 for Saunders.
Saunders, their offense been ridiculous. 86-point differential. Give me Saunders.
Okay.
Timu Ticats.
Yeah,
Sure.
I don't think anyone in Tier 2 is going to compete with Saunders, unfortunately. IDCI's got some pieces, but Saunders is a complete team this year. Shame that we don't get to see them in Tier 1.
Yeah.
For the record, I thought the team who Ticats
we-
were Westminster.
Last week we were
No,
when you were
Saunders.
No, Saunders.
Oh, okay. Last
Okay, so
week
I
on
was
this show.
right.
Yeah, you were
All
right.
right, okay.
I that's on me. We were
It's all
talking.
good. Listen, if you missed the broadcast last week, we were in all corners of the world, and Joe's AI note-taking assistant joined us on the
Yes,
broadcast.
thank you. I haven't been able to. I had to go through my actual notes first.
Yeah.
So I haven't looked at it yet.
All right, where are we
Was
at
it
here?
good? You can ask it questions.
Laurier.
It was fantastic.
Yeah,
We're at
Laurier.
Laurier now. Okay, let's Sheriffs.
Is Sean Malik playing this game?
Hard maybe.
Okay, Laurier, for sure. If Laurier comes out as hard as they did against Medway, they're going to win this game. Especially with Sigurdsson not playing. Yeah, Laurier's got the horns.
Okay, Joe.
Lucas at night in October will probably rain. I'm going Vikings.
Okay.
This is a night game at home at Lucas. Same place. Tough place to in English. Tough place to play during the daylight hours, especially at night. The atmosphere there. Give me the Vikings.
Okay.
Really tough place to play. I've been there. We've broadcast a game there years ago. It's a tough environment. It's a different environment. I really like the Rams' speed. I know the field's going to be a bit mucky and everything else. Just with the injuries that Lucas has, I'm going with Laurier.
Okay. Yeah, this is a tough one for me because obviously I'm over here bleeding blue hard. But Laurier looked really good against Medway. And I'm going to preface this to say, if Laurier shows up and plays Lucas the way they played Medway, Laurier wins this game. But I have to pick the Vikings. So, and I will be doing some form of stream of this senior game too. I think Nathan Crancy's going to come hang out again. He was excited to come up in the booth, or if you guys are there, squeeze into the little crow's nest with us. But
No.
yeah, I know. Yeah. That ladder is it's
Ladder
a
is
tough.
not good.
Yeah, we can
It
put
scares,
you.
it scares me a little.
It's not getting up that's the problem. It's
Yeah.
getting back down.
I'll put you on a wireless headset down on the sideline or something, Ron. We'll figure it out. So, okay, cool. And so, yeah, that'll be live. And then I think at the same time, you're going to be involved in a broadcast at Joe's, Mr. Everett, if I'm not mistaken. So why don't we, let's start with you on this one.
So this game is not at Joe's. It is in St. Thomas at One Password. If you don't know, this is the 100th anniversary of St. Joseph's High School, oldest high school in the board, the Catholic board that is. All week long, started off in the school with an assembly yesterday for the students, stuff today at the school, the Thursday night game. They're expecting to be a ton of people there. So the atmosphere is going to be crazy. Come on out if you're in the St. Thomas area or you want to watch some good football. It's going to be a good game. The Rams, I think they're rolling. They want to bounce back after a game last week and against an MTS team that the season hasn't gone the way they wanted. I think, and the fact that you always get up when it's your night game, your whatever marquee game, whether it's the buyout or the night game. And I think the Rams, with it the 100th anniversary, they want to be able to say, those players on that team, it was, back in high school, we won the night lights game in the school's 100th. That's pretty special. So, of course, give me the Rams. Roll Rams. Happy 100th. Go Rams.
Perfect. Joe.
As Ron said about Glendale, the other green and white team, schedule for MTS has been brutal. If they figure it out, I think they're going to be a very talented team. I'm going MTS.
Okay. Cheers.
I'm going to St. Joe's here. They presented some really unique things defensively against Oak Ridge. I think that they can do that again against MTS. I think MTS does have a lot of their own struggles. And like to Everett's point, you get up for big games. And this is really like a big fight, a big game for St. Joe's, not only because of the historic implications, but for the playoff implications. They're fighting with Banting to be that 4th seed to get into the playoffs. So a win here goes a long way for them.
Yeah, absolutely. Ron?
To say basically everything that Everett just said as well. I've been to many of those night games at St. Joe's. It's a different environment. I know it's at One Password Park. The town of St. Thomas is going to show out for this game. I don't think it's really going to matter who is going to be on the other side of the field on this one. I think the Rams are going to win, and I think they're going to be winning big in this one.
Yeah.
Can I put a self plug in at 6 o'clock? Why not put a double dip in your football, kick off your Thanksgiving weekend? Come watch the junior team. St. Joe's Juniors again against MTS Juniors, 6 o'clock at One Password.
I like, of course you get the double dip. No, One Password's a great
It's a great, great
too.
spot.
Yeah.
Amazing parking.
Yeah. Yeah.
Joking.
that's
Yeah,
Terrible.
no, yeah, it's
Parking is a bit
brutal.
rough.
I was gonna say, I was like, wait, no, they're just like, there's two, like, anyway.
There's 2
yeah,
rows.
I'm with you. Yeah, I think there's some pretty special players in MTS in Isaiah Trutman, and I think Noah Reese and a few other guys that I know are dogs. They're grade 11s right now, and I think we've already said it earlier too that next year this team's going to be next level. I'm going to take Joe's on this one for all the same reasons. So let's round it off here. IDCI at East Elgin. East Elgin, I went for them a couple weeks ago. They got me the Lone Wolf prize on that one, but had a tough week. So, and I think IDCI is too strong, and I'm picking IDCI on this one.
Yeah, IDCI is rolling. I think everything's pointing towards a matchup with Saunders. I will say this. We talked about the great environments at Lucas on a night game, and at CCH last week, and at One Password Park. If you don't live in London and you don't live in St. Thomas, get out to Elmer, to that field. That's a great environment. I've seen many, many games there. It's a fantastic environment. But I think the purple and gold are going to lose this week. I'm taking the Bombers.
Okay.
It's Thanksgiving again. The East Elgin's going to need to bring some stuffing to the table to try and stop the Bombers, but I think really they need more than stuffing to stop them. I think they need a seat at the table. I don't know if they really, in the matchup, deserve a seat at that table in this game. No disrespect. I just think IDCI is too good this year. The Bombers.
Okay. Joe?
Ron, I need a point of clarification from you.
Yes.
IDCI, their quarterback, Delwo,
Yes.
is his brother the running back on the
Yes.
Beefeaters? If that kid hits half as hard and is half as smart as
doesn't.
his brother. Oh, okay. Well, then maybe I changed my mind. No, I'm still going
But
with
he's
IDCI.
a good ball player. Again, this is a kid going into, didn't get a lot of reps. He played quarterback in grade 11 last year, did not get a lot of reps. Now he's got a full year under him. He's playing a bit more. He's got a CIS-sized offensive line in front of him. I could go through them like crazy, but no one's going to touch him. So when you're not pressured, you got all the time in the world.
Makes a big difference.
Yeah.
Round us off, Shervs.
Yeah, I mean, I talk about coaching across the city, right? Especially a lot of coaches now making it to that tier 2 level. And, obviously Jake Kirk being with Saunders in tier 1 the year before, going to IDCI. We have, Spencer Bowman coaching at Montcalm. The level of talent and the level of coaching and the systems that you're going to see in these games is going to resemble a lot more of tier 1 high school football. So I think that I'm going to take IDCI here, believe in, some of those junior Mustangs kids that we worked with in the summer, believe in Jake Kirk. And I think it's going to be a two-plus score game.
Okay.
Kieran Kelly for IDCI is him.
Yeah. 100%.
As the kids say.
Yeah.
More
Yeah,
importantly, Tommy Gunn, who's almost always in the comment section here, wants to know, Joe, how was your time in Calgary?
Calgary was fantastic. It was cold and depressing.
You brought the weather back then.
Yeah.
I did. You're welcome.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, without further ado then, gentlemen, let's have a look at our new leaderboard where Everett finds his way to the top of the LFTV live mountain, followed by Mr. Ron and I sharing the deuce position. Dylan making the biggest jump of the week, only followed up closely by the good old Instagram poll. And Joe with a little bit of work to do. The AI note taker did not do well for you.
I
on
need to
this
stop choosing my teams out of spite.
Well, just to point out, technically right now, it's a tie for 1.
No, this is
Oh,
our
sorry.
week-
This is end of
this
week
is
3.
after
Yeah, I
week
know,
three.
yeah,
I got you. Yeah.
Just for the record.
Yeah.
That's for today.
Spoilers
This
for
is
next
true.
week.
Spoilers.
Yeah.
Well,
What
it,
about
was
the people-
it was posted. I took Glendale. No one else did.
What's
Wow, spoilers.
What's
Don't tell
wild
me.
about this one
Sorry,
too
spoilers.
is that I think it was Shervs. You had like the biggest week. You had 9 of 11, and really the only games you got wrong were the ties.
Yeah.
So you potentially had those games not ended. You could have gone 11 for 11, which we have not seen yet here on London Football TV
Elite
Live.
ball knowledge. You
Yeah.
already know.
So Sherville, if there's a moving company want to sponsor biggest move of the week,
There you go.
Oh,
Ooh,
my
I
friend
like
John
it.
at Braun, he might love that,
Yeah.
you know?
I know there's a bunch of Western players that are
Yeah,
some
yeah.
piano moving company or something.
Yeah.
I was like, is this a front? Sure. So when it comes to the Players of the Week nominations, we get a little bit better at this every week, but I got a couple messages, if you're watching it right now, a couple messages from people saying it was tough to add the clips or something. I made a requirement that you had to at least add a picture this week, because last week it was just like, to whoever says he's him. You said he's him. I got a lot of just like, Dylan Sherville, he's him. Oh, wow, why? I just that. So at least with a photo or some stats or something, we did end up getting a lot of great information. And let's give it to him again. Good old Kieran Kelly.
When we come and stand in front of you guys.
Got it? Only but good old 70-yard.
Crazy that this is how this starts.
Oh, I'm sorry. This isn't Kieran Kelly. This is Kyson.
Okay, good. I was gonna say.
I wrote the wrong. Go, Kyson! Yeah. So let's get rid of this.
Yeah, that kid is definitely special.
Yeah,
for sure.
great camera work. However, so excited the camera person was that Kyson Miller on the return there. Offense, a lot of really great options for this as well too this week. I think I took the private vote between everybody and Will McBurney getting the offensive player of the week here. There were, hats off to what did Keyshawn had 10 carries for 170 and 3 touchdowns or something. So some special stuff happening this week, but McBurney winning offense, and
Instagram. You saw that kid's right foot. I'm surprised he even made it 70 yards.
right.
Was, again, I will sing this kid's praises until he presents otherwise, but he is phenomenal. He's a great kid.
Yeah.
Does a lot of great things as well, on and off the football field. So I think he's, wherever he goes in the next level is going to be an impact player. Obviously, there's a lot of kids that have gone through that CCH process to do that. He's literally him. Like he's my Mr. Football in the entire conference.
Yeah, no, he's had himself quite a game. So that's pretty much going to wrap it up here, fellas. So Any final thoughts? Are you off again next week, traveling, Joe, or will
Yes,
we have
we're
you for
off
the
to
broadcast?
Pittsburgh.
Oh, nice. So
I'll
will we
send
have
my
you?
AI note taker.
Okay, so
No,
I'll be
back
okay.
Tuesday
You'll
night.
be back
No,
Tuesday night. Yeah.
Tuesday night, yeah.
So we should be back next Tuesday again. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Sorry, final thoughts from anybody else on this upcoming week?
Go support your local football clubs, man. Like,
Yeah.
go to watch these games. Go and take the time. Spend your $5-10 at the game because it means a lot to these schools to even have an opportunity to play a night game, let alone have parents come and watch their kids play. Hopefully, we can figure that out in London in the near future. But the more the support that these games get, the more opportunities that there could be in the future. And if you guys have nothing to do on your Saturday afternoons other than maybe watch NFL football, people you don't know, go out and watch the LMFA games. That's the talent of tomorrow. There's a lot of great kids playing in those games. Shout out to the volunteer coaches that are there too. Again, it doesn't even cost money to go watch those games. You can just go have a good time, support the programs, right?
Yeah.
Get yourself a nice $2 hot dog and go from there.
Well, even further to that, like this Thursday or this Saturday at 3:00, Beef's taking on Hamilton in Week 1 CJFL action. I know,
Big game. That's a big matchup.
Yeah, really. For it's we don't move on, we don't win this one, boys, right? So, and then obviously Western's on the road this week at York. And then next week we'll have the last home game for Western. So lots of great football in this city, boys. Appreciate you once again for Shervs, Mr. Harris, Everett, the coach Ron Forward. I'm Adam Melrose. This has been London Football TV Live, and we'll see you next Tuesday.
Happy